Okay, good morning, and thank you for joining us. We'd like to give a shout out to the North Tree Academy for hosting us this morning, and to all the teachers that are letting their students participate. They'd like to say a good morning to you.
Good morning!
If you'd like a link to a recorded YouTube video of this webinar, please contact Nuria. Her email address will also be printed at the end of the presentation. You'll also be able to go to the EMA website next week and find the link. This event is in partnership between the City of Norwich, EMA, which is Eastern Advanced Manufacturing Alliance, and NCDC's, the city's Economic Development Agency. We are going to hold off on questions until the end, but if you type them in as you think of them, we will get to them at the end. And if you could let us know who you are in your first question, that would be great. We're going to start out this morning introducing our panelists. We have Pete Obuchowski from Square. We have Kelly Valeries from Sound Manufacturing, and Ralph Watson from Collins & Jewell. So thank you all for being here this morning. Last year, EMA ran a contest to bring high schools and manufacturers together and educate students on career opportunities. We're going to show you a brief 2.5-minute video that the winners produced. Congratulations to Ram High School on the win.
What is manufacturing? Most people think of big machines and assembly lines, but is there more?
From start to finish, it's a new thing, and so there's a lot of fun along the way.
Although the work is sometimes challenging, the employees are there because they want to be and because they enjoy their jobs.
It can be a challenging and a fun environment. You can always do something different depending on where you are. It's not necessarily a mundane job where you just do the same thing over and over every day.
You want to have some fun doing it too. I mean, hard work can be fun.
Even though some manufacturing jobs require a college degree, many of the high-paying jobs do not.
Just graduating high school. This is definitely a hands-on learning. They train very well here.
Some companies even offer the opportunity to further one's education.
We'll pay for night school if they want to take, say, a plastics engineering course.
However, there are plenty of cool and interesting jobs for those interested in pursuing engineering as a career.
The engineering part I find exciting, designing parts that can be made.
Manufacturing does not rely on a single person. Each individual plays an important role in the success of MPS Plastics.
It's not like we have 100 people out there on the floor, so we're almost, it's like a big family kind of.
New projects come along all the time, and the company enjoys manufacturing a wide variety of products.
It's interesting, and we're always working on new projects, so it's fun.
Whether you are college-bound or heading into the workplace, manufacturing may be the right direction for you.
Can't think of doing anything else but this.
When it all comes together and we make that first piece, that's like gold.
And you can't force people to be happy, but you know what? If people are happy about what they're doing, they're going to do a good job.
Okay, I'd like to introduce Ralph Watson, who's going to talk a little bit about this year's contest.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out today. We really do appreciate that. How many of you guys, raise your hands, heard of the event called What's Cool About Manufacturing? Did anybody hear about that? We went out to, I believe it was 13 different schools last year, and each one of those schools grabbed a team of maybe 10 members or so, went into a manufacturer in their community, and then they pretty much produced a video like you just saw. They talked to owners of companies, presidents of companies, they talked to supervisors, they talked to the people on the line, they learned all about the product that those individuals were making, and then they produced a video in a contest. All 13 schools came back to to Three Rivers Community College one evening, and we watched all 13 videos, and then we voted at who had the best one. So what is cool about manufacturing? When you walk into a facility, like Kelly said earlier, is everything you see in this room, it had to be made. Somehow somebody had to make it. They took little pieces and they put it together, or they took the piano, big thing like a piano, the little stuff on the inside that you don't see, somebody has to manufacture, put it together so that it works. That's what the cool stuff is. When you walk into a manufacturer and you see how a piece of steel, just a raw iron piece of steel turns into a small building, that is really, really cool. And then you see the processes that it takes to make it, from drawing creating a blueprint. In our industry, it's a lot of welding that goes on, siding that goes on, but when you're done, you come out with a complete product. The chair, the table, the piano, the podium, such like that. Reach out to you guys. I believe we'll reach out to the principal this year. We're changing the name from What's Cool About Manufacturing to Manufacturing Pathway to Success. So be looking out for that. I encourage all of you guys to get involved in that. You'll be able to visit manufacturers here in your community, walk into those buildings, see what they make, and be part of producing a video that talks about what they make. So other than that, I'm going to turn the mic back over to the speaker.
Okay, and so thank you, Ralph. We are going to hear from Pete Obuchowski, who is the owner and president of Square.
Good morning. I'm Pete Obuchowski. My company is Square Automation. We do industrial automation, and we're based right here in Norwich. So basically, we're an industrial automation company. So we don't make an actual product, but we work on the machines and the processes that make the products. So anything in industry that moves or is cutting or is automated, like robotic arms to move parts between machines, that's all stuff that we work with. So we program the machines, we design and robots and systems to move parts through an assembly line, and also to actually cut the parts and manufacture the stuff. So we also have parts of our shop where we are doing some manufacturing on a smaller scale. So we actually in-house build our systems. Unfortunately, the big projector's down, but we do have an in-house CNC machine shop. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with any type of robotics or CNC, computer numeric controlled machines, automatic machine tools. That's all stuff that we have and we work with.
Okay, so we will turn it over to Kelly Valeries from Sound Manufacturing.
Good morning, everybody. So my company is Sound Manufacturing, and we also have another company called Monster Power Equipment. So at Sound Manufacturing, we're a precision sheet metal manufacturer. So what does that mean? We make things out of flat sheets of material. We cut it out, and then we bend it up, and we may weld it and put in nuts, bolts, screws, whatever needs to go into it to make a final product. So if you look around you, typically you'll see all kinds of things made out of sheet metal, including the speaker housings up there. So you see our work in a lot of other products. We even have a part on the International Space Station that we're really excited about, that we did work for another company that makes oxygen generating machines. So we built the housing that their technology goes into. We make products that range from the telecommunications industry, which if you go into this building somewhere where all the cables and computer lines and telephone lines come together into a big room, control panel room, we make all of the racking systems for those. We make housings for medical equipment. We make some really cool stuff for aftermarket motorcycles and cars. And we made some really cool aftermarket baskets that go on Segways. And we're even making a cool stand for an Apple tablet computer. So in our industry, we never really know what our next job is. be something in any one of those industries or in any other industry. And we had so much fun making things for other people that we decided that we wanted to make something for ourselves. So we started a company called Monster Power Equipment. And we make monster pieces of equipment. And I'm not sure there's a photo up there of that. But we make leaf and debris truck loaders for landscape industry. So has anybody seen in the fall a big truck come down the street and it sucks up all the leaves along the edge of the road? That's what we make. So some of our pieces of equipment are 24-foot long self-contained units with 99 horsepower John Deere engines on them. And we designed all of those. We developed them in-house. We make all the subcomponent parts at Sound Manufacturing. And then Monster Power Equipment assembles them all. And one of the cool things that we try to do in our product line is we try to buy other local products that we can't make from local suppliers. We have local painters paint our product. So we try to keep everything in Connecticut as much as we can. And if we can't get it in Connecticut, we buy it in the US. So everything that is put into our equipment is made in the USA. And we're really excited about that because it's really fun. So now we're looking at what other products can we bring to market. We make a brush cutter for Briggs & Stratton. So has anybody ever heard of Briggs & Stratton? Yeah, probably every engine on your lawnmowers that you see is a Briggs & Stratton engine, and they have lots of landscaping equipment and other equipment they put their engines on. So we work with them, and there's just a lot of really fun things in manufacturing. And the interesting thing I see here today is there's only one young lady in our audience here, so I'm hoping that out in the webinar world where we can't see everyone, that there's more ladies in the audience, so I'm going to shout out to them. A lot of times when I go into places, I'm one of the few ladies sitting at the table. And I'll tell you that manufacturing is really a great opportunity, not just for all you guys, but for the ladies as well. And in manufacturing, there's not just the opportunity to actually physically make a part and be part of that process, but there's a lot of jobs in manufacturing that are support roles. And we have purchasing, we have finance, we have marketing, we have production scheduling, we have quality control, we have shipping and receiving, we have administrative assisting, all kinds of things. So there's opportunity in manufacturing across the board. Manufacturing is one of the largest industries in the United States. Did you guys know that Connecticut is the home of manufacturing in the United States? Does anybody have any idea about what the first mass manufactured product was that came out of the United States, out of Connecticut? What's that? Do you know?
Ships.
What's that?
Lumber.
Lumber?
Ships.
Ships. Not quite. I'm thinking about on the sheet.
Cars.
Nope, not cars. Anybody else?
Firearms.
Firearms? That's a very good one. So the first one was the cotton gin. Eli Whitney made the cotton gin, right, in the 1800s, and he mass produced that. And the cotton gin separated the cotton from the seeds and made it so that it cleaned it out that you could make thread from it. But from that, the firearms industry was developed using these philosophies of manufacturing, and that was founded in Connecticut. So Colt Manufacturing and some of the other really old gun manufacturers, they supported the Revolutionary War against England. So we have a long history of manufacturing in Connecticut that we kind of don't think about sometimes because we think about this Connecticut as being like the insurance capital of the world kind of thing, but there is a tons of opportunities. What are two really cool things that are manufactured in Connecticut that you can think of off the top of your head?
Helicopters.
Helicopters, yes. Black Hawk helicopters. What else?
Nuclear submarines.
Nuclear submarines, awesome. What else?
I was gonna say that.
You can say that? And jet engines, right? And all kinds of other things are made in Connecticut. And just imagine how many parts go into making a submarine or a jet engine or a piece of medical equipment, right? And all those little parts are manufactured. And a lot of them, a good percentage of them, are manufactured in Connecticut. In our little state, we have over 2,000 manufacturing companies. 2,000 manufacturing companies. That's a lot of manufacturing in our tiny little state. So there's a huge amount of job opportunities to do all kinds of really cool things in manufacturing. So today we're hoping that you'll learn a little bit more about that, and we'll talk a little bit more about the pathways on how to get into those jobs and what kind of education you need to do that. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to Ralph, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about his company.
Collins and Jewell. How many of you guys have heard of Collins and Jewell? Great, love it. The railings that you guys see out here on your football field, the new railings, you guys see those from last year? Those came from Collins and Jewell. So we made those into our facility. Then we came out and we installed them here. So what we are is we are a custom manufacturer. We deal with fabricating steel as well as doing industrial installation. So what does that mean? You guys all heard of the Solo Cup, right? Don't sing the song for me. Just you guys know the Solo Cup, right? The Solo Cup, we moved that company from their existing, their past location to where they are today. How do we do that? We go into their facility, we tear down all of their machines, we put them on trucks, we ship them across the United States, and then we put it into their new facility, we reset them back up. So when they're pushing buttons on their machines to make a product, those machines are working the way that they should. So that's the industrial installation part. What does that mean? Well, what that means is we need folks that are welders, we need plumbers, we need electricians, we need all of those, all of the arts that make that happen. We also need folks who can run blueprints, make blueprints, can understand schematics, things like that. A lot of opportunity in that industry. Then we also have the home-based shop where we actually manufacture some of those tools. And the same thing, welders, plumbers, electricians, we could use those locally as well. So we're hoping that you guys, we understand that you guys today, right, sitting in this room, how many of you guys have a career path? How many of you guys here have an idea what you want to be? Where you want to go from here?
Navy.
Navy, great. Right there in blue.
Medical and military.
Nice. He's a doctor already. Look at this guy. He's already going to be operating in 4 years. He's going to be pulling one of you guys' legs out of socket. Right there. You had your hand up? Where are you going? You. Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to be an engineer, but I don't know what's like there.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's a great path. So all of those opportunities are right here in your community. They're right here. How do we get there? You can start with a community college, right? You don't have to go to California and spend $80,000 in 4 years to become an engineer. You can make that happen right here at QVC. You can make it happen right here at Three Rivers in a community college. Those are all opportunities that are here locally for your continuing education. And then you also have the manufacturers locally that are looking for those skill sets. So it's important to start thinking now. How many seniors in the room? Seniors? It's important to be thinking now. If you don't have a path, if you're not sure, you guys got to start thinking now. Where do I want to go? What is and start looking at some of those ideas of going through a community college to help you get to the next level. So I'm going to end it with that. I'm going to turn the mic back to you. Want to do questions?
Sure, we can start taking some questions. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes.
What kind of scholarship opportunities do you have?
Great. That's a great question.
That's a really good question. So in manufacturing, there's all kinds of opportunities. So in Connecticut locally, the organization that I work with is EMA. We're the Eastern Advanced Manufacturing Alliance. And what that is a group of almost 50 local manufacturers right in Eastern. And we work together with Three Rivers Community College and Quinnebog Community College. The Three Rivers is right here in Norwich. Everybody been there? Right down the street. And then Quinnebog is up in Danielson, not too far up. So what's great about those two schools and programs that are in those schools is that local industry is working to develop curriculum and programs in those schools that are high demand jobs that you can do when you get out of school, or that you can create a pathway to a four-year college. So at Three Rivers, we have a brand new program that's starting in January, and we're going to be running it every semester. It's a precision sheet metal fabrication program. There is no other formal precision sheet metal manufacturing programs in the United States that is not HVAC, which is heating and air conditioning and ventilation, which is very different than precision. So in that career path, you have Electric Boat, and they're hiring thousands of new employees to help build the ships. And there's manufacturing in every level there. They also have a program at Three Rivers for mechanical engineering, which is another great thing that you can apply not only to shipbuilding, but to any type of building of anything that you see around you. You have to understand mechanical engineering. And the cool thing about those programs, and two that are up at Quinnebog, one is a machining program. Machining is when you take a solid piece of metal and you take away material from that to leave a piece that has certain attributes to it. So kind of like a big casing of something is machining. And in aerospace, there's a lot of machining. And they also have a purchasing supply chain management program. Now, the cool thing about all of those four programs that I just mentioned is you can get a certificate in those programs where you just go and take the classes that are specific to the manufacturing component, not the English and the art and the history kind of classes, but just what's pertinent to those, and then you can be employable after that. Or you can take all of those manufacturing classes and take the required classes for an associate's degree, which is your English and all of those other items. And those are transferable 100% to several of the state of Connecticut's universities programs. So you can come out of those community colleges with a 2-year degree, transfer into one of the 4-year colleges at a junior, not having to take extra classes, and finish up a degree if that's the pathway that you want to go on. So the cool thing is there's all of these different pathways. If you don't want to go to college all the way, you can do a certificate program, you can do the 2-year program, you can move on to college. And does anybody know how much tuition is at one of the community colleges? What's that? It's around $5,500, $6,000 a year at the most. How much is it at UConn? About $25,000. So you can save a lot of money going to the community colleges and then transferring up if you want to. And the EMA companies, again, I said almost 50 of us, and they're growing every day. We're adding new members, support these programs that are offered in the schools so that you have a job to come out of. You go right into a job. So we're really excited about that. So what other questions?
As far as engineering goes, my friend Doug over here said that he'd like to be an engineer, but he's not quite sure what field. Is he able to utilize a more liberal arts background in these areas, or does he have to specify what kind of engineering he wants to do? Can he combine fields?
Okay, well, that's actually a good question. So for engineering, it really depends on what your interests are. Are you more inclined towards mechanical systems, electrical systems, buildings, like civil engineering? And really during the first, if you're looking for a 4-year degree in engineering, the first couple of years, you have some flexibility to change or develop what your interests are. Now, if you're in if your interests are more cross between different fields, such as mechanical and electrical, you can get into a field kind of like what I do is called mechatronics. So you're taking mechanical systems that are controlled by electrical systems, so you're kind of combining mechanical engineering with electrical engineering to do all the automated systems for manufacturing. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunities to cover different aspects of interest, especially in the engineering world. Next question.
How long after high school would it take to get involved with
So how long, the question was, how long would it take after high school to get involved with one of these businesses? Ralph, turn it over to you.
Sure. So what you'll find is many of your manufacturers have starter positions, open positions that will teach you right from the start up. So you can walk into a manufacturer with very little skill set, right, and learn a skill when you walk in. And then once you walk into that manufacturing facility, you'll find that there's many different paths. You may be working on an assembly line and say, well, maybe this isn't for me, but boy, I would really love to be part of the drawings that we're looking at that make this part. So maybe your path is to go to Three Rivers or QVC or go back to college to get look at something into drafting so that you're creating a blueprint. That may be your path. The nice thing is the manufacturers today, it's not the manufacturer that your grandfather talks about, right? Manufacturing today is it's really cool. It really is. It's clean. It's not dirty. It's clean. A lot of precision machining out there, so that you have to use your brain a little bit to get through manufacturing today, right? It's not the old grandfather dirty manufacturing that you may have heard. You really have great opportunities in today's manufacturing facilities. So again, to answer the question there's a lot of starter positions that you can walk into. They will teach you how to drive forklifts. They'll teach you how to do assembly work. They'll teach you how to use cranes. They will teach you how to run robots. They'll teach you how to make monster equipment. They'll teach you all of those things. It's up to you as the student, or you as the new hire, right, to take those initiatives. That's what manufacturers are looking for. They're looking for, listen, we understand that students of today are the decisions of tomorrow, right? You guys in this room right here will all be decision makers in probably the next 15 years. Hard to believe it because you're in school right now, but I'm telling you, when you get into manufacturing and you start your job, somewhere along the line, you're going to be a decision maker. So we understand that, and we want to give you the skills that you're going to make the best decision for yourselves and for the companies that you're working for, all right? So don't sell yourself short. Walk into a manufacturer. If you don't know where your career path or what you want to do, walk into a manufacturer. Find out what it's all about, and then you can develop from there. As Kelly said earlier, there's purchasing opportunities. There's sales. You may be a really good salesman. You might get into sales and sell the product that you were making, you know, when you first started at the manufacturer. There's all kinds of opportunities. It's up to you as the individual to take those initiatives and find out what path you want to take. But those opportunities are there. Next question.
How much money would someone make in manufacturing?
Oh, that all depends on what the path. You want to be the president of the company, you're going to make a lot of money. It all depends on your path of what you want to take. I can tell you that some folks working in retail today are not making as much as the guy who's just starting in manufacturing, right? I can't give you a specific dollar amount, but there is a lot of opportunity to make a lot of money in manufacturing today. And again, it's about the career path that you choose. If you're going to be an engineer, you may be making a lot more money than maybe somebody running the assembly line, but it all depends on the individual.
Can I add something?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I just want to comment on that quickly. So the cool thing about manufacturing is when you come in, you can make an entry-level wage if you know nothing. You've never touched manufacturing before you come in. In my company, we start people no less than $10 an hour, which is more than minimum wage, and that's if you have no skills at all. And then we teach you. If you come in on the engineering side, we have people who are making close to 6 figures, and I'm a very small company, so when you go into a larger company, 6 figures is not out of the question. Everybody know what 6 figures means? Like $100,000 or more? Okay, 6 figures, it's a lot of money. But I want to share with you a quick story about an employee that I have. And this is a friend of my son's that I've known since he was in 6th grade. And this is a kid who had no clue what he wanted to do in school, just kind of did what he had to do to get through school, graduated high school, and looking at what am I going to do? And he's thinking, well, what can I do? What are my options? So he got a job pushing shopping carts at a shopping grocery store. He had a job at a fast food restaurant. And he had a job, you know, just doing these kind of things. And he said, I can't spend my whole life pushing shopping carts. So he was at my house one day. I said, listen, Stephen, I said, we have some opportunities and we need somebody to do an entry-level position. Why don't you come down and talk to our production manager? So he came down, he presented himself really well, and he got offered the job. And he came to me and he said, thank you so much for giving me this job and giving me this opportunity. And I said, Stephen, I didn't do anything except give you the opportunity to have an interview. You did the rest yourself. And he felt really good about that. So he's now working and learning and trying to, and he's got this career path now that he sees. And he says, wow, look at all the things that I can learn and do. And he was doing really well. He spent a year with us, and then he kind of got a little bit lost and said, I don't really know if this is for me. So he left for a couple months, and he came back begging, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I'm back pushing carts again. So he's back, and now he enrolled at community college. So he went from not really knowing what he wanted to do to a year after high school, enrolled in community college, and is really on a path to do something for himself. So I think that manufacturing offers those opportunities to young people that a lot of the other entry-level type positions that you see around just don't do. So it's a very exciting opportunity.
I had a question. We have students in this room that run the gamut from 9th through 12th grade, and a lot of them, myself included, don't know what they want to be when they grow up. Right. Is there opportunity for students currently in high school to maybe come down to your companies, maybe not so much on an internship basis, or maybe so, because I don't know, about safety and things of that nature, but is there opportunities for students currently enrolled in high school that maybe don't know a path that they want to be on to examine your companies and say whether or not, wow, this seems really interesting, I think I want to pursue this, or no, that side of it definitely is not for me? Right.
That's a great question. So that's where EMA, the Manufacturing Alliance, comes into play. We do a lot of activities throughout the year to engage high school students and get them interested in manufacturing. So one of them is a Manufacturing a Pathway to Success video challenge that we have coming up. So even if you're not really interested in video, we have people use their cell phones to make the videos, so it's not a highly technical thing, but it allows you to go into a manufacturing company with a small group of people and really learn about what goes on in that company and make a presentation to everybody else about what is happening in that organization. So that's one opportunity. The community colleges put on manufacturing events all the time. QVC has an event coming up at the end of October that we're bringing in hundreds of high school students, and a lot of the EMA companies will be there, and other companies outside of EMA presenting to you what the opportunities are in our companies and what we're all about. So that's another opportunity. We did a what we call Techapalooza last year, where we had a bunch of companies come down to Three Rivers, and we had students walk around to all the different companies and make a little widget at each company, learning about what they do and using their technology. And then at the end, they put all their widgets together to make a keychain. And the cool thing was you had a blueprint, and you had to follow the router and make all the pieces and put them together. And then we had quality control check your work. So that was really fun because it was a great representation about what companies do. And you got a little thing to take with you when you left. So we do that. And the EMA companies do open houses all the time. So please contact any of the local manufacturers. They'd be happy to open up the doors for you for a tour of their facility and an open house. Bring a class down, bring a group of students after school, and we would be thrilled to have a group of you come through and just walk through the organization and check out what we do.
We have a question from Susan. Are any of the students in this room planning on going to the Manufacture Your Future on October 30th at QVCC? QVCC, TRCC, EMA, and many of the EMA businesses will be on hand for students to learn more about advanced manufacturing. Are any of you guys planning on going? Good. Potential.
Hopefully after today, that potential will be definitely. Exactly. The logistics are always a tough thing, but that's the event I was just speaking about. Really cool event. Last year when I was there, there was one company who makes quality control equipment, 3D stuff. So they had their technology there, and people would put like these stickers all over their faces, and the QV machine came and like scanned all the features and drew a picture of their face on the computer screen from the little sensors all over their faces. So manufacturing makes and does some really cool stuff. What else do we have for questions? Yes.
What are some of the benefits through manufacturing that can be received?
You want to take that one?
Sure. You have all kinds of benefits. You have medical benefits, right? You have quality of life. To me, that's a huge benefit. I mean, I love going to work every single day and do what I do. And that's by choice. I get up in the morning and I'm excited to go to work. And when I get there, and share my day with the rest of the people that are there, that's a very exciting thing for me. So that, to me, the quality of life is a huge benefit for me. But there's medical benefits, right? You get paid vacations, you get health benefits, you get all those kind of things. But the most important, I think, is creating a path, a career that drives you the same way. When you get up in the morning, the worst thing you want to do is not wake up and say, oh, I don't want to go to work today. I do not like my job. Then that's not your career path, right? Don't choose. Try to find something different within that manufacturer, or maybe it's going back to school and trying something different. But try to find something that when you wake up every single day, it's something that you want to do. If you're a soccer player, you want to get up every day and go play soccer, then stay in school, get a great education, keep going that route. If athletics is your thing, that's great. If not, manufacturing is right there to help you get you to the next level. Some of those other benefits is as you grow, right? You're gonna want an apartment, you're gonna want a house, you're gonna want a car, you're gonna want the latest cell phone. I need the latest Jordans that are out there. All that costs money. How am I gonna get there? Well, you gotta work for it, right? So if you have to go to work to get all those things that you want in life, do something that you enjoy. Pick something that you enjoy. It helps you, it helps the people that you work with, right? And it helps the business that you're working with as well to get to the next level. If I can say anything is especially for the new guys that are coming into not sure, where I want to go, is it manufacturing? It doesn't matter what you decide to do, but whatever you decide to do, be confident about it, right? The day that you go for an interview to the job, whether it's manufacturing or if it's retail, or it doesn't matter where you're going to go, be confident, sell yourself. That's what that person on the other side is looking for. But you may not have all the skills that they're looking for, but when you come with the energy levels, the confidence in yourself, the dress appropriately, right? The speak appropriately, all of those things, when that happens, they look at you and they say, you know what? You're trainable. We want you on our team. And that's important. So if anything, no matter what path you decide that you want to take, right? Be confident in yourself. Ask mom and dad. Talk to mom and dad. If mom and dad's not around, talk to your aunts, your grandparents, your friends, whatever. Be confident in what you want and then go after it, right? That's what it's all about.
Question?
I've heard from a couple of students that they're planning on going through a military program of sorts. So they're planning on joining the military. Do your companies partner with any veterans organizations to help with employability after military service?
Okay, there are some programs out there that that allow companies to assist in hiring veterans from programs. Most of us, we really like to hire veterans because you've already been through 4 years or 6 years of training. So we know that the quality of individual that's coming into our company is at another level. So definitely military and former military personnel are very welcome and love working with the groups to try to get them into our companies.
The other thing I just want to add to that is when we think about the military, we always think about the guys who are doing the fighting, right? But those are just a small part of our military, all of the support that goes into the military. So if you're interested in engineering, you could go into the military and learn engineering in the military. And when you come out, they have the programs that you can go to school at no cost to further your education. So I always encourage people who are interested in the military to really understand all of the opportunities that the military has to offer, that it's not just the guy with the gun slung behind his back or shooting the bombs. So I know one young lady who went into the Marines, and she builds roads and bridges, and that's her job in the military. And when she comes out of the military, she's going to be very, very well equipped for a great job in engineering, in a career in engineering when she comes out. So think about it in more of a broad spectrum, what you can do that.
We also just heard from, for the Manufacture Your Future event, transportation is provided if needed through QVCC.
That's great news. So now you're in.
Now, earlier you mentioned your starting level position, but what would be the process for moving up in that in terms of engineering?
Sure.
Like in terms of how you advance.
Right. So I can talk about what we do in our company.
Yes.
So our top engineer started working for us when he was in high school, a senior, part-time. He's been with me for 25 years now or so. Okay, so he came in and his attitude was, I want to learn everything there is to know. So he started doing very simple processes and tasks, and he excelled in every single thing that he did. So we kept throwing more and more things at him. And this is what we still do today. What we have what we call qualification cards for every different operation in our organization. And if you show me that you have the drive and motivation and you want to learn, and you're a go-getter and you're enthusiastic, I'm going to give you every opportunity that I have to teach you everything that there is in the shop. And once you understand everything how you actually make something in the shop, then we move people into the office and we teach them SolidWorks. And a lot of young people like you guys, you probably already know how to do SolidWorks, right? Back when Bucky started, there wasn't that type of level of software that he's learned over the years. But for you guys, picking up technology is pretty simple. So we find that you pick it up like that. We have people first learning how to do the programming on the CNC machines, run the lasers, run the punches. We just bought a brand new laser. It was a $600,000 laser. And my one of my laser operators is a year and a half out of high school. He came to me working part-time when he was a senior, not this past, in 2014. He excelled, doing everything we asked him to do, and really smart on the ball, really savvy. Now he's one of our top laser operators. So it can happen very quickly. I also have a guy who's worked for me for 20 years, and he's a grinder. And that's all he does. He's done it for 20 years. But that's what he likes. And he's the best damn grinder that you're ever going to find anywhere. And that's what he likes to do. So it really has a lot to do with you and what your path is and how enthusiastic you are. And one thing that we wanted to touch on today is that it's not always about the technical skills. Okay, so we can teach people how to push buttons and make parts and set up machines. What we can't teach people is what's in here, in your passion, and how you communicate that and work with others. Problem-solving skills are one of the #1 skills that we look for. So with Eric, my young laser operator, he can solve a problem. He can see something and he can say, you know what, I don't think that's gonna come out the way it's supposed to. And he understands enough about it to ensure that that path doesn't happen, right? Problem-solving skills are critical. Thinking and working with teams are extremely important. So in a manufacturing facility, we have probably 55 people on the manufacturing floor, and there's operations that things go from one operation to the next to the next. If you're in the middle and you don't know what was happening before that part got to you and where it's going after that part gets to you, you may send a part out thinking it's fine, but not understanding what they need it to be like in the next operation, and really can make a big error. So teamwork, communication, showing up to work on time, being enthusiastic about your day. We don't want to see people walking through the door like, oh, I'm so tired, where's my Red Bull? You know, that's not really the type of employee that's going to excel and move through the career path quickly. So we're looking for you guys to come in, and we're going to put as much effort into teaching you and helping you grow in your career path as you want to put in. So that's really important. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right on, Kelly. One of the things is you got to remember that the companies that you're walking into, they were there before you got there. They were successful before you got there. And so what you want to be thinking is humble yourself to the position where you can say, what can I do to add to their success, right? I'm not going to come in here and stop everything that they're doing and tell them they're doing everything wrong. But I have to understand what they do, how they do it, why they do it, and then what can I do with my experience that I've learned to help them continue to grow. And to the gentleman in the blue there that you asked is the advancement, you know, Kelly's right. It's all about passion. Your eagerness to learn, your eagerness to be humble, right? That's the thing. It's to understand you gotta work with the team that's already there to learn what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. Once you learn that, your effort, your initiative to take on more responsibility is how you advance. So that's important.
And I honestly think that's true in any career that you guys choose to go into. The job that I currently do is marketing director for Norwich Community Development Corporation. The job that I accepted with Norwich Community Development Corporation was administrative assistant. And when I got in, I learned that they had some marketing issues. My degree is in English. I'm a high school English teacher. I'm a certified high school English teacher. And I wanted to do something different. And I got into a different career and I saw a need and I changed what I did and made myself fit a position. And I think that's true of almost any job. The initiative that you put into anything is what you'll get out of it. So if you want to go out there and do better and do everything that you can, you'll go far in life. And if you want to stay on the same track that you're on, that's fine too. And you'll keep the same job.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of areas on how, like, if you had just had a general interest in manufacturing, how to get into the field. But there's another program out there for if you kind of have an idea of something more specific you want to do. Some companies offer apprenticeships now. Well, still, and there's a big push to get more companies offering apprenticeships. So what that does is it takes you on either a 3 or 4 year training path within a company where you're working for the company and you have a very prescribed curriculum that you're learning to. So if you want to become a machine operator or even sheet metal fabricator, there's going to be 6,000 or 8,000 hours which are done over the course of 3 or 4 years on learning very specific skills. And you get basically a check every time you learn one of those skills, and it helps you advance into a particular career. Now, does that mean that once you get to the end of that apprenticeship, that's where you stop? No, that means that you've gone through the company and become a valuable asset. And that company's going to want to keep you and keep training you into more, bigger positions or more, responsibility if that's what you're interested in doing. Like Kelly said, you can also, if that's what you like to do, that's where you'd be able to stay. So, want to add anything on apprenticeships? Any other questions? All right, so going to hand it back to Mary. I think we're going to wrap this up.
Okay, well, I want to thank NFA for hosting us here today, and I want to thank Pete and Kelly and Ralph, for coming out today and taking some time out of their busy day to come speak to us. And thank you guys for all taking some time out of your day to ask some questions and learn some things. And we hope that you all pursue a career in manufacturing, or at least look into it.
Thank you.